10 years for 10,000 subscribers in YouTube. That sentence in itself sounds so sad. It's a fact, but it's not like I didn't put in the work. I actually did. I have over 300 videos in YouTube and more than 2,000 videos across all my social media platforms. So what went wrong? I'm shooting this video to open up about my journey and help you avoid the same mistakes that I've committed throughout my entire career. I'm not saying that it has only been low lows, but there has also been extremely high highs. And I want to just share my experience with you. For any of this to make any sense, I would really appreciate it if you could watch the entire thing. At this point, I think we have all reached such a certain age in this digital world that we actually know what actually works and what does not. But there are so many pointers within it. There are subdivisions among subdivisions. So I want to focus on those little tiny fragments that make all the other difference in the world. If there are any new viewers out there, if you're wondering who the hell am I am a musician, a drummer from India. I teach every single day from here and I record drums for a lot of artists as a sessions player. And during my downtime, I just play what my creativity pushes me to, whether it's in terms of fitness or it's in terms of capabilities or just maybe feeling the music. So for my creative outlet, I just shoot that and I upload it. And if you're wondering why I'm so sweaty, it's because I just got done with a crazy long ass session and I want my audio to be crystal clear because I want to spread my message crystal clearly. So but I would really appreciate it if you could watch the entire thing. I will be speaking a lot and sharing everything. I won't be leaving anything behind. I will be opening my heart out and I really hope some of this helps you guys out there. Number one problem in my career was the production value. So until about recently, there was a benchmark of production value that you had to touch minimum for your videos to be viewed by way more viewers. Anything beyond that would be nice, but anything below that would just be disregarded. While I had access to a lot of means, for example, I could rent the equipment, I could hire people to help me shoot in my videos, but because of lack of knowledge, I could not make the most use out of it. For example, if there was a segment where I was performing in a certain way, maybe the camera was just too static or maybe the movement was too aggressive. I could have maybe gotten myself a gimbal for that particular shoot or for that particular shot. Or maybe the lighting in general could have been way better. While it is obviously important to focus on the content itself, I think we should also keep in mind the production quality also has to be of a particular format. I completely understand if we don't have the means for such things, but when you do, I think we should just make the most out of it. And there has also been times where the production side of things were adequate in my videos, but maybe I kind of went below my means on the audio section. So I could have gotten my audio mixed in a much better way, in a much better format, or I could have also shot with better microphones and not just solely rely on my DSLR microphone. So people right now, they like to watch things that are pleasing to their eyes, whatever is aesthetic or symmetrical, whatever just looks comfortable and comforting to them. A video can also look extremely expensive by just having a minimalist approach to your studio or your workstation or whatever kind of place you shoot your videos in. If it's clean, shot with very good lighting and a decent camera, I think you're more than well prepared to shoot and record amazing quality content. So bottom line is make the most of whatever you have. And I did not do that. So with my mistakes, I'm pointing out to you guys that make the best use of whatever little gadgets you have. So if I just had a very basic phone camera and also had access to maybe a couple of lights, I would honestly just call up all my videographer friends and ask them for any guidance on how to place the lights, or maybe ask them to come and just handle the phone camera and help me shoot the video. And by doing things like that over and over again, you tend to learn and you begin to catch up what they're actually doing. So you can just apply that by yourself and step by step, you just keep getting better and better. Second is content. This, I believe, is the most important thing out there, obviously, because people will watch you for what you post. It obviously makes sense. But I want to share my mistakes on this particular point. For a short while, I created content and I put them up online. People seemed to like it and they started following me. But then again, I think I just started following trends and started doing what everyone else was doing. So that was not me in particular. I was just trying to be someone else. I was driving in new traffic all the time. Most of the new comments were from new people, new followers, new accounts. So while that in itself is not a bad thing, that also meant that my previous viewers were not sticking around to watch my new content. So I was not giving them a reason to stick around. So what I realized was I wasn't making content that deserved the views. Viewers will only stick around if your videos deserve the views. They followed you for a particular style, they followed you for a particular topic, and they supported you. But if you keep changing, in this case me, if you keep changing over and over again, they won't have a reason to stick around. And people in the beginning, they actually followed me for a particular reason, and when I started switching things up, it actually meant that I was not being myself. So in today's world of extreme overstimulation and oversaturation of almost everything, it is so important to be authentic. People will watch you for you, and I'm gonna repeat that once again because this is so important. People will watch you for you. This is not a how-to guide. I believe only 50 to 100 people maximum would watch this video. I'm literally sharing things from the bottom of my heart, being as honest as possible. I just have a few followers, but I'm very fortunate to have really YouTube successful friends. After speaking to them for years and years, really helped me garner a lot of information. So while it took me 10 years to get 10,000 subscribers, it took me another 2 years to get the same amount of subscribers. I think my channel is at like something 20K or something. But obviously 2 years is so much faster than 10 years, right? So that only means that whatever knowledge that I've garnered in 10 years, I'm kind of applying that. So things will just start to multiply and formulate in a much better manner. Also, having the replay value or the X factor in your video really helps. There can be moments in your video which can make the viewers be like, holy shit, how did he or she do that? Or wow, that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. So that will make the viewers go back to your video and replay that particular moment again and again. That also adds in more views and help you get more subscribers. While this is me opening up, I didn't want you guys to view a very basic video. So this is actually my 4th time shooting this video. I actually shot the entire thing yesterday and there were some moments in it. Oh no, like oh my God. While the content is low, brings me to my next point is self-doubt. But then again, I was speaking my heart out, but the lighting was off. The camera placement was horrible. Number 3, consistency. I have over 300 videos in YouTube. That obviously means I was consistent, but there is an edge to it. Even despite having 300 videos online, I was not consistent enough. But that in itself is kind of okay because I was very busy in the field. Up until COVID happened, I was traveling and touring with various artists. Very honored to be able to say this all over the world. I was never in a particular place for over 15 days in a row. So whatever videos I shot was while traveling and while being in a place for a couple of weeks at the max. So I don't really feel too bad about that. Because of my traveling schedule, I was in the field and working in person with other people, unlike now. And while I was doing those things, it didn't really occur to me to shoot those videos because I was really having fun in the field and I was being in the moment and just embracing all the experiences. So to a certain extent, I'm also very happy that I got to live a life where I was not living in the past or living in the future, but in the moment, and thus avoiding overfrying my brain sensors. So if I was traveling the same way right now, I would honestly be documenting everything because the entire process of content creation also really makes me happy and it's a topic that I'm very much interested in. If I were given the opportunity right now, then yes, I would document everything, but I'm so glad I lived in the moment for a short time. And also there were times when I didn't travel much, and that was the time which I utilized to shoot the videos in full swing with full production with the team and all of that. So those were the videos that really helped me shape my career and gave me a career in this music industry. So while I would resume traveling again was when I would post other types of content, but they were not up to the mark. You know what I mean? It was content, but so many things could have improved. Like when I go back now and watch those videos, I'm like, how could I miss out on things like that? But then again, I didn't have the knowledge back then, right? I didn't have that type of experience, that digital experience, which I have now. Back then, I had to hire a team to do everything for me, and now I can do all of that by myself alone. So that in itself is crazy, but you're just one person, so it does take time to learn how to do everything. Which brings me to my next point, is having a team. So for the longest time, I got so comfortable working alone because of a lot of things that has happened in my life. I have been cheated monetarily so many times. I've had so many things gone missing from my studio here, a lot of theft, and also I had a big chunk of equipment just stolen from my apartment when I used to live in New Delhi. And overall, such bad experiences just made me want to work alone. So I started doing everything by myself. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just that whenever I had a team, things were slightly better. Let's say I hire 4 people for my next video, and let's say it's in a very tricky location. So we work together, we drive there, we set it up, and they edit and they mix the audio, and we come back home and I have the final product with me. In something like that, because there are 5 brains attached to it, there's also 5 types of creativity attached to it. And all of that combined just produces something so magical, so unique, that you honestly couldn't have done it alone. I'm not saying that one should do this permanently, but having a team temporarily really changes your perspective, your outlook, your approach, and I think the finished product also gets better. And my next point, which is the most personal for me, is self-doubt. This next point is kind of on an emotional sector, but after teaching so many students and working with so many other people, I've realized that I'm not alone in this. I'm just gonna open up about a few things of my life. I really want you guys to pay attention when I'm saying this. I know digitally we are so overstimulated. Our brain senses have been deep fried. I know while we watch this on our laptop, we'll just put out a phone, check Instagram out, or check the comments, or just see what else is happening. But I really want you to pay attention on this particular topic, especially. For the longest time, the groups that I was affiliated with, associated with, worked with, lived with, were the ones that created such a low self-esteem in me, because they constantly asked me not to be the way I actually am. They used to tell me that I was maybe a little too much and not conforming to social norms. I've always been extremely crazy, but I really had to tone myself down for the groups that I was associated with. So this particular video is just one of the first videos that I'm being able to make after getting rid of my past. I was constantly being told of what to make and what not to make. I don't know why I actually listened to all of them. So it is actually my fault. I should have gone ahead with my gut feeling. I should have listened to myself. All in all, it was an amazing lesson that I've learned, and it's all good. Listening to your heart is what matters most. So for the longest time, I just did not have the confidence to make the type of videos that I actually wanted to make since forever. And honestly, opening up again, the type of videos that I want to make is when I'm speaking out to you guys, just informing you on things that I've learned in my life, and not just music, because I've had my fair share of craziness, and I feel like it's time that I'm kind of vocal about it. Bottom line is, I want you guys to avoid the things that I've done, because I really want all of you to grow at a much faster speed, because I feel that everyone has it in them, but they just don't unlock it, and they're kind of stuck in a rut, and you just have to get past it. There are lots of things holding one down, and you need to find ways how to get out of it. I hope this really makes sense, guys. And it's not like I'm a complete failure in YouTube. I've had my fair share of success digitally in other social media platforms. Like most videos that did not do very well in YouTube did surprisingly extremely well in other platforms. And because of that, I got to connect with people literally all over the world. I teach students regularly from all over the world. I record drums for other artists again globally, and I got clients from all over the world again. So it's just insane what the internet can do for you. So I'm very grateful for that. So while I'm kind of mad and pissed at myself that YouTube did not work out, I'm completely okay with that right now, because it did work very well in other platforms. But now with the knowledge that I have, I will be approaching this in a very fresh manner with more experience. And honestly, the beauty is, since I'm the problem, I'm also the solution. For years and years, I blamed the YouTube algorithm, and now after knowing these things, it's completely okay. I will just approach this with a fresh new perspective. One thing I really missed out focusing on were thumbnails, because there were times when I had the best videos shot with an entire team and I spent a lot of money making them, and I would just upload them with the YouTube generated thumbnail, and I noticed that the views were horrible. So after a couple of years, I went back to those videos and I updated the thumbnail. So I know it's not much, but imagine this. You have a video that has only 2,000 views in YouTube, and after a couple of years, you change the thumbnail and you make them way better, you know, flashy or just cleaner or just much nicer than what you originally made. I kid you not, this video of mine had only 2,000 views. I changed the thumbnail after 2 years. And after I did that, it grew to 25K. I know it's not much, but this is a very realistic growth. I'm not saying that I got like a million views, but I would any day pick 25K over 2K. There are many more things that I want to open up about and share my experience and knowledge with you guys. But for this particular video, I think these points will definitely help you so much. Please follow them. If you have watched up until here, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.